I currently work as a paraeducator just in an elementary school, so I have kids that are between the ages of 6 through 8. I'm very grateful too that this job has allowed me that flexibility to be able to work with your, what I like to say is your non-typical learning peers and your typical learning peers, kind of having that mix together. I'm also really good at working with children, especially those with disabilities. My dad, the people that he's worked for, family, friends, and whatnot, all say, I don't believe it, I don't see it, but they say that I have this gift when it comes to doing that. I just think it's treating everybody the way that they should be treated. It's just that common respect, you know? I would hope that people just kind of understand that we want to be treated as normal as possible. Yes, we have like certain difficulties and things that we struggle with, but we also have a ton of strengths. Like we're very caring and nurturing, and so yeah, just looking at the good qualities versus kind of the negative ones. Some strengths that I would say have been, again, that perseverance and that flexibility to kind of shift that thinking from negatively to positively. I remember my parents telling me that, I can't remember, I was very young, but we were at the fair. And there was this little boy who had facial deformities and whatnot. And like he was sitting by himself and like nobody was wanting to go on rides with him. And I immediately grabbed his hand and I was like, yeah, let's go on rides. And we did all these fun things together, you know, and we got really close and he was like, he became my best friend. I didn't even like realize it, you know, because it's just normal for me. And it's always been that way. Well, I came to live with my family when I was 4 months old. And then they didn't officially adopt me until 3 years old. Ever since I was little, my mom, she used to be a teacher, and I had this whiteboard and I would have all my stuffed animals and I would be teaching them. And I would be thinking like, oh, let's say that this student is having trouble with math. And so how am I going to help them get, you know, how to figure it out? When I was finally old enough, I want to say 14, 15, I was finally able to like be old enough to like volunteer in daycares. Right after school, when I wasn't having therapy or tutoring, I was going to the daycares and I was hanging out with the little kids because that's what I love to do. I was actually in 3rd grade, so between 8 and 9 years old, which I feel like is pretty common for people with FASD. They don't really get as early of a diagnosis as we would like, obviously. So I think that if I did have a much earlier diagnosis, I think that that would have helped. Since like being told and like remembering like, yes, you have this disability, I remember going home and doing tons and tons and tons of research on it. Oh my gosh, as I'm talking about it, am thinking about in high school when we did a project for a health class. I ended up doing my project on FASD. And so I just kind of talked about like what my disability is. Well, just knowing that I have a disability, and it's like I think of it as like a superpower. I have something going on that not a lot of people, you know, have. And so it's like, well, how can I use this to my advantage, you know, kind of thinking about like the Marvel superheroes or whatnot. Like, what if I have like invisibility, you know? So just kind of thinking it like that, trying to make it fun, you know?